Yeah.
Here it is.
Yep.
Time just flies. Now
It
we're getting
does.
ready for the Bacon and Brew Fest again. You gave me a little bit of a background. You
Yep.
said it was your brainchild.
It was a brainchild of mine. When I don't know, I always thought about like having some sort of local festival that celebrated bacon and beer. They just, you look at your Quad Cities events and Dubuque, and they all have a festival like this. I'm like, well, Clinton could have something like that too. So we just kind of started chatting around the table and came up with the idea of a bacon contest, right, with folks that can make bacon-inspired food items, and then having it voted on by the public, and then having your craft beers. So we finally decided, and I think it was 2019 or 18, I forget which year was our first one, but we're on our 7th year. And now we put together 7 years later. Here we are. We're trying to make it bigger and better. We've upped our band a little bit. We've got Sins and Roses, which is the region's top Guns N' Roses tribute band. I guess they're pretty well sought after. I heard they're very good, so we're excited to bring a bigger band to the table and just see where that goes. So we're excited.
So it's next Saturday from 3 to 7. The band's going to take the stage at 5.
Yep.
So how do we get involved in this? How do we get to be on the riverfront?
Well, so it'll be very similar to a Finally Friday, where the parking lot will be in the Alliant Energy area. You can park there just like you normally would for most of those events, and then we'll just utilize that band shell space right in front of it. JC's will be providing the beer for sale, but then we'll also have all the craft beer vendors will be there serving their 2-ounce samples. It's $25 to get in if you buy ahead of time, or $30 at the gate, but it's unlimited 2-ounce samples, and there'll be probably at least 15 different breweries represented, with several of them being on site themselves. I think Potosi should be on site. I think Big Grove is on site. Five Cities Brewing, I think, is on site. Wide River Winery is on site. I believe Seven Hills, we got to confirm, I think, should be on site. That just took over the brewery.
Right.
So that'll be good to have them there. And then 7Gs represents a whole bunch of breweries. They'll bring like Exile, Reunion, Toppling Goliath. I mean, there'll be all sorts of samplings for every palate.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have to tell my son and son-in-law about this. They're big craft beer people. You a craft beer guy?
I am not, but I just know that bacon and beer go together, and that's why we love that the JCs will sell some of those beer samples, sell some of those beers for those breweries, but they'll also sell your domestics, your Busch Lights, your Bud Lights, and for some of the simpletons like myself,
and myself
likes to stick with a Busch Light, but I like to sample once in a while just to see.
I drink Busch Light on ice. That's how bad I am. So anyway, you have moved the date around, but it looks like you're pretty settled for around October.
Yeah, September, October. Like I said, it all depends on the Iowa home games, because 7Gs is so ingrained with the Iowa home games, whether it's their suppliers or their people that serve it, whatever. They're all hands on deck for home games. So we always have to pick either an off week or an away week. So October 4th, I think, is a bye week for them. So that worked out well for us. So that gives the 7Gs all of their resources to be able to be here and help, push product and have people serve product. So that's the weekend we fell in. It seems like we're always competing with something. We've always tried to avoid the different dates of, I think there's Wine Fest, there's Fulton Fest, there's Homecoming, there's pick an event. Well, this year we picked our event ahead of time, not knowing when Homecoming is, and then they announced the Homecoming date, and sure enough, is October 4th. But you have to pick, when 7Gs is available, so that's just the way of it.
So there are some other things going on, Steinhold and a keg toss.
Yeah, so when you think of these, festivals, right, there's always like these competitions. So we've got a keg toss, which is an empty keg, not a full one. It's just like you grab it by the sides and just throw it up and over your head as far as you can go, and there's awards for that. And the Steinhold is a pretty popular event where we have, I'm not sure if it's a 32-ounce mug, and you got to hold it straight out in front of you and the last person standing, because it's full.
Yeah.
Right. If you start, shaking a little bit and you start spilling, you're out. Or if you break the plane with your arm, you're out. So there's a lot of fun things to do. We have a trailer with big screen TV, so you don't have to miss any of the football games. But I think we haven't talked yet. The food vendors. We have 5 food vendors this year. We have Rural Rumps, who just competed at the Iowa State Fair and took first place in their category. I'm not sure if it was overall category. But they'll be doing a bacon-inspired food item. Mike's Fun Foods will be there. Deanna's Java Cafe will be there. Hy-Vee will be there. And Holly's Dogs will be there. So we have 5 food vendors, and they all have to provide bacon-inspired food item. And then it's public vote, right? You get a ticket when you enter the gate, and then you sample all the samplings, and you put your vote in for the one you like the most, and whoever has the most at the end is your winner. We have a nice plaque with a pig on it. So it really is a lot of fun to do on the Bacon and Brew Fest.
So, the weather has been remarkable.
Yep.
So I'm hoping it holds out for you
Fingers
for
crossed.
next Saturday.
Fingers crossed,
because,
yep.
my goodness, this has just been crazy.
Yeah,
So-
and it'll be a pretty much rain or shine. I mean, obviously lightning would shut things down, but the show must go on, right? So we'll try to do the best we can to fit it in, because again, it's so hard to find other weekends to move it to that you're pretty much locked into that date, and you just go with what you got.
Again, visiting with Josh Eggers on the Riverview Bacon and Brew Fest. Now, the proceeds are going to something very near and dear to you.
Yeah, so we offset the youth sports subsidization quite a bit. And there's a big need for that in our community, so this is a great way to supplement that because we've got such a high percentage of kiddos that qualify for free and reduced lunch, and the ones that qualify for free and reduced lunch can also qualify for a percentage off of their registration fees. And we have so many programs, as you know, that's quite a bit that we subsidize throughout the year. So this helps buffer that. That's good for us to utilize those funds and proceeds to kind of help offset that.
So I know soccer is going on big time right now, but what are some of the other ones, like basketball, volleyball?
You know, we have so many programs, and I don't know if people realize it. So right now we have youth flag football on Sundays. We have soccer on Saturdays. We've got youth girls volleyball about to start. In a couple weeks, we'll be starting adult volleyball league. We have a men's drop-in basketball, and that's just fall, right? That's just the fall season. And then when you hit winter, you'll have youth basketball, youth skills camp, all the way down to preschool aged. And then once you hit spring, obviously you got spring soccer again. You got girls softball. You've got summer volleyball league for adult and for youth. It's never ending. It's once one season starts, you're already on to the next season, and it just never stops, which is great.
Well, I know the community should be proud of the Clinton Department of Parks and Recreation. You guys do so much for the youth and the adults.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good pulse on what people want, and we've got some really exciting things coming down the pipe. I know that pickleball 5-6 years ago really took off, and we put those beautiful courts on Riverfront, and it's just jam-packed, which is amazing. But what we started to see was there was a younger demographic starting to want to play, and it's hard to get court time, right? Because you got so many people utilizing the Riverfront courts. So we've got these tennis courts that are sitting idle at the Erickson Center.
Yes.
So we put a capital improvement request in to redo those courts, which needed to be done anyway. So now we're going to try to fit 4 pickleball courts, retain one of the tennis courts, and then add a basketball court. Because I think what people forget is that we're so close to the middle school. Those kids walk over to the rec almost every day after school. Once you get into the school year, August, September, you still got some beautiful days out there. They can go play basketball all summer long. Now a younger demographic or people in that neighborhood can now maybe utilize those courts, so maybe Riverfront's not as congested, but really just trying to provide the trends. And the trend right now is there's a lot of people wanting to play pickleball, and even with 8 courts, it's still sometimes just not enough. So
That is amazing. I didn't even think about the middle school being so close to the Erickson Center, but yeah, you're right, and that'd be great to improve that tennis court area.
Yep, and I know someday we will hopefully get to an indoor sports facility, because it's beyond needed in our community. I mean, we've got such an uptick in travel sports for basketball, for volleyball, plus your recreation sports, and we've just got that one little gym at the rec.
Yeah.
And then we've got all of the elementary schools and the middle school gyms in play that we're trying to schedule practices and games and tournaments, and it's just not enough. So when you get all those kids migrating from the middle school 80 to 100 at a time on a Wednesday early out, you can imagine just how congested we are down below. So we just try to do the best we can with the space we have.
And that soccer facility out there, you use it for 7-on-7 football. I think you had like movies out there, right?
Yeah, so that was something we tried this year just to get our toe wet, right? Was to do it. It's almost like a drive-in, but you park in the soccer field parking lot, but then you bring it's more like a picnic style on the grass, and we've got the blow-up movie screen. And we did 3 of those this year. One of them got rained out. One of them was great weather, but I don't know if everybody knew about it. So I think once that catches on and people realize what that is, that'll be a very big draw. You've got the concession stands there. Yeah. We are about to put in a playground set there. I think we're working with the Rotary to try to build a handicap accessible pavilion, so you'll be able to have really like a set it and forget it birthday party area. If your kiddos played soccer, you can go play soccer, utilize the playground, have the pavilions. So it's really going to be a nice addition for those fields.
Oh my gosh, always enjoy visiting with you. Before we let you go, again, a wrap up on the Bacon and Brew Fest.
Yep, Riverview Bacon and Brew Fest. You can find us at Facebook at Riverview Bacon and Brew Fest. You can buy your tickets there through Event Spice or Ticket Spice. Either way, it'll take you right to that link. And then also there's QR codes all over if you want to scan it, or you can buy them at the Erickson Center. Save yourself a couple bucks on processing fees if you want to pay cash or by check at the Erickson Center. We've got hard copy tickets there as well.
And of course, people can walk up as well.
Walk up as well if you want to, yep.
Okay, so next Saturday, 3 to 7 down by the Riverview Band Shell and Sins and Roses.
Sins and Roses.
Where are they out of?
I think they're out of Chicago, Peoria-ish area, one of those two. But
Okay.
they've played, I guess, at I think they played at Poopy's, and I believe they've played at the Wild Rose. And I was turned on to them by Larissa from Wild Rose. And people I've talked to said, "Oh my gosh, like Josh, those guys are amazing! Like I can't wait." So they're excited because they're a really good tribute band. So
That is amazing.
we're excited for it.
Josh, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Are you a downtown business or resident who is struggling with reliable